I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now. I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV. I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Now that we have your attention, welcome to AfterBuzz's TV's after show for Dispatches from Elsewhere. My name is Kevin Allen. I'm going to be your moderator for this evening's panel, but I am joined by some amazing co-hosts, and I want to introduce them to you now. Yes, that's all of you guys are great.
Stop it.
To my immediate left, this is Ben Schnau.
Thank you, everybody. I'm still confused, though.
Yeah?
I don't get this show yet.
That's okay. We're here to talk about it and
I
suss it
hope
out with
so.
everyone, and that means you as well, fans. You guys can
Please.
chat with us live right now on the threads. I've got my girl, Shyntel Moore, over there. She's moderating everyone's thoughts and comments.
Yes, I am. So make sure you are sounding off in the comments, and we will discuss it.
And between the two of them is Shyntel Del Aguila.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm still very confused.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I like it or not. So we'll see.
But you love Jason anyway, right? You love
I
his
do.
body, you
I
like
love
everything about
I love
him.
everything about you. You're
me?
amazing. You're
Okay.
beautiful.
Whether or not you guys like the show, you're experiencing, and I really think that's the whole point, to experience the show
True.
and be aware of what's happening around us. So on that note, let's figure out what's happening on this show. First and foremost, yes, we meet Jason Segel playing the role of Peter. So Peter is you, if you guys are not caught up. Peter is you. We learned that in about 2 minutes. Actually, I want to take a step back and talk about our narrator, because I thought that was the greatest introduction in television history.
I mean,
What did you guys think?
honestly, I think it was great, and I really like that it's British English. I really like that. I really do like that. But the thing is, I don't know if you guys saw that, but he was reading off of something. Did you
Oh,
see
wow.
that?
No,
so
I
was
didn't
like,
see that.
I was a little disappointed by that. Don't get me wrong. Don't sound
Richard E.
negative.
Grant's
I don't
performance?
want to sound negative. I liked the show, right? I liked what he did, his performance, but I could tell by his eyes that he was always reading off from a board or something like that. And then he looked back into the camera, and I was like, hey, come on, you're so established as an actor. You should memorize that stuff.
But that's to get you back in
I was
the
gonna
game.
say, maybe that was part of his
That's
character,
to get you
though.
into
Could
the
be.
game.
Could
That's
be.
what it has to.
So you think he did that on purpose? Though?
Yes, to
Yeah.
mesmerize you, to make you
Oh.
think. The game is about making you think what you think, but it's really not what you think. You get
I
it?
was
You
not
get
smart
it?
enough for
I
that.
thought they were implementing a few techniques, because everyone knows how to watch television, but it's a thing that we
Right.
put the show on in the background, we have chips or popcorn,
Right.
and we're just kind of passively letting it wash over us.
Right.
But they did a few things, starting with having a big, bright orange backdrop.
Correct.
Which you don't see a lot on television. The saturation of the colors was really sharp.
Yeah.
And while you're looking away at your phone, and if you notice he's not talking, you're going to look up.
That's true.
And go, oh, I thought it was on mute or something. What'd I do wrong? And then you're going to wait for him to actually talk. And when he does,
That was great.
He has our attention.
That was awesome.
I agree. I was like, that was for a minute there. I was
That
like,
was awesome.
do I need to turn the volume up? Like, what's going on? What's going on? Is it on pause?
Right,
No.
right.
So it definitely caught my attention right away, and I love that. That's something that I look forward to when I watch shows. So.
It
This-
shows like silence is power, you know?
Oh yeah,
Seriously.
absolutely. Well, it breaks the scenario, and it reminds us that we are doing an activity.
Right.
It's kind of we're reinventing how to watch television
Right.
while also instructing us on how to watch television. There's going to be a lot of that, I think, in this show.
Yeah.
And especially because we immediately follow that with Peter. He says, we're going to introduce you to Peter. We're going to take 2 minutes, and we don't really need to tell you anything about it. We're just going to show you, and you're going to feel it.
Right.
So what do you guys think of Peter?
I mean, I felt like, oh man, some situations, how he feels and what he lives, that's what I do too. sometimes I wake up and feel like, oh my God, I have the same fucking routine every day, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, eating the same stuff, meeting the same people. I don't want to meet anymore, but I still do for some reason. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, why am I meeting these people anymore, you know? But, and I felt the same way, so it was nice to have that kind of twist at the very beginning where he basically meets these kind of people, which is shaking up his life a little bit.
Yeah,
so I kind of like that idea, you know, that was cool.
Everyone wants to shake up their life
Yeah.
a little bit.
I like me some little Peter. I feel he really just wants to feel. The reason why he loves this game so much is because he just wants to feel loved, and I think that's a big thing within the game and the whole thing of what the narrator was saying is that everyone, even look at the way he was in with his therapist. It was about like, you know, he wants to feel wanted. He wants to feel like, you know, he's able to help in some type of way to make his life different. Notice when he got the phone call and they said, "We need your help, Peter. Are you in or are you not?" And then he literally like thought, but then he was like, "I'm in." Like he really wants to feel a part of something, and this is so unpredictable for him that it makes him feel like, damn, they need me for a change. Like I feel I can be here, and this is where I belong.
He looked at every flyer, all of them having that same Nautilus logo. I don't know if did you guys catch that?
Yes.
Yes.
I wonder if Peter did. But he looked at every flyer and finally, it took him a while. He hesitated, but he committed to one. And when he did, he committed.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Shyntel, you are our Jason Segel super fan. So I really want to get your thoughts on
Yes.
Peter.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, so first of all, his character is completely different from his character from How I Met Your Mother. Like, you know, I'm like, who is this person? He's like a complete 180. But I love it. But like, just kind of to back up from what you were saying, Schnau, like, I agree. When I was watching it, I'm like, I feel like I can relate to Peter. Like, you know, I do. Everything's the same. You eat the same meal. You go to work. You come home. You shower. You go to sleep. Your life, in the sense, is so boring. It's so played out and everything. And I think his character is really trying to find purpose in his life. And I'm like, okay, what is his purpose? And like I said, I agree. He's trying to find acceptance. He's trying to find love.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm waiting for that moment for someone to kind of like reach out and be like, I need you, Peter. And you see that like in the phone calls when he's like jumping up for it. And he's like, oh, you need me? I'm important. And I'm like, oh, yes. It's like almost like that like hero part. Like, yes, you are needed. You are loved. I don't know. It's just, there's, like I said, it's mixed feelings. I'm like, what's going to happen to him, you know, when he meets these group of people?
Well,
his new
we're
family.
going to talk about what's going to happen to him because if we are Peter, Peter is us, Peter is you, there's a lot to talk about in the show. We're going to break down a few other things. We're going to talk about Peter. We're going to talk about a little more. We're going to talk about this whole game, the Elsewhere Society, the Jejune Institute. We're going to get to know Simone, our secondary character for this episode. And then we're also going to get into some special segments. We're going to have Ben talk about some news with Jason Segel and the genesis of the show, as well as Shyntel discussing the genesis of the show with the Jejune Institute. Yeah. So, all right, back on track. You guys said that Peter wants to find love. I didn't think he wanted it going into this. Like when Simone arrived, I thought maybe it was sparking up, but I don't think that was his reason for answering the call.
I think it's more so of like of a self-love, like something that's gonna get him aroused in, well, not that type of aroused, but like
The
getting
feeling of
him
want,
yeah, because
you know?
everybody wants to be wanted, and I think that's one of the biggest things in the whole show is going to be about. Everyone wants to be wanted, and everyone wants love. No matter how much of a hater you can be, you still want love. Everyone still yearns for that. So there's different types of love, but I feel like he wants to feel that love and awareness of like, I'm needed type of love. Like, you have to depend on me type of love.
Right. I feel like at the very beginning, I agree, but I think at the very beginning, he doesn't even know that. I feel like he doesn't even know what he wants. I think he's completely lost. That's the way how he basically looks at us when he's walking down the street. He's not even knowing what he's doing anymore. It's just like a play that he does every day. You know, it's just a normal thing. But the thing is, like, when we see this guy with the hoodie, right, and it's basically having this paper, and then he's reading the sign, have you seen this man? I think what they basically did at the very beginning to get him into the show basically is trying to trick him and say, hey, this guy who's with the hoodie is hanging up this paper, and he's actually also the man on that paper. And have you seen him? Okay, call the number if you've seen him. And that's basically what he did, because when he's doing the phone call, the first thing he said, hey, I've seen this guy with the hoodie. He was doing the guy with hanging up the paper, right? And then they got him on the phone call, and boom, out of a sudden they got him. And that's basically how the whole thing starts. That's what I see. He didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he
make
was
sense?
just
Yeah.
he was just responding
Pretty
to
much.
the stimulus.
Yeah,
and
pretty
it's
much.
something. It's not he saw like. It wasn't that someone put up a flyer
Yeah.
with someone's face on it and he recognized the guy across the street. That's an ordinary thing we
Right.
know about that exists in this
Exactly.
world. This was a bizarre circumstance.
That was staged, pretty
And-
much.
Yeah,
Probably.
and so he wanted to know, like, is this staged? Is
Yeah,
this real? Is
exactly.
it a prank? And we're gonna get to all
Yeah,
that
for sure.
But he follows the flyer. He makes the call. He answers the call when they call back, and he finds himself at the headquarters of the Jejune Institute. And
That was crazy scene.
at what
Very
point
trippy.
was everyone really weirded out?
At the very first second, when this guy was sitting down, like at the reception, said, "The guy we're talking about is here right now."
And that
I
they
was
knew
like, wait
he
a
was
minute.
coming.
No,
Like,
you know
okay.
what? I feel
No.
like for me it had
It's
to
the
be that
lady.
woman.
It's the lady.
Like I thought it was
Forget the receptionist.
Really?
awkward
Yeah.
and unusual when she like held the key and she held it.
Yes.
So, I was like, first of all, where are you
It's
holding
dangling it.
Well, Jason Segel's a
And
tall
who
guy.
can read all of those?
I mean-
and who can read all of that on that little
Yeah.
Well, so
And
he
she
did
could-
though.
But she, and you know what really got me going is when they said to turn right like three times.
times.
I'm like, you could have turned left. Like,
What-
He's so,
so-
like gullible. I feel like he was just like, I'm just gonna keep like like I said, his character. If you notice, he's so repetitive. He does everything the same. So when it came to like that keychain, it was like, why not just okay? I'm just gonna read it word for word. Like he didn't really put any thought to it. Like his everyday life, you don't really put much thought to it. You get up in the morning, you shower, you eat, you go to work, you come home, and that's it.
That's exactly right. I think it was very intentionally designed to do exactly that.
That's true.
To give him mundane instructions that he would follow. Like he turned left first. He looked left
Yes, that's
on his
how-
own accord.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because
what
there's
you
a wall
naturally
here and a wall here.
Yeah.
But then he said, no, I
True.
got to follow the rules. And he read the instructions and it guided him. He would have done it anyway.
Yeah. Mhm.
But again, just like the way that the show introduced itself, I think it restructures the mundane task to make you think about how you're doing the task, even if
Right.
it is mundane,
Yeah.
and become an active participant.
Sure, totally get that.
And
totally agree.
So he sits down, he watches the video. I honestly thought at some point Richard E. Grant's character, we'll just call him the narrator for the moment. No, wait, he had a name at this point.
Yeah.
That's right. He was Octavio Coleman
Oh, yeah.
Esquire.
Esquire.
Yes.
That's fine.
I thought he was just going to appear in the room or something. That's really shake it up.
I thought he was gonna pop out of the TV actually at
Yeah,
some
right.
point.
Well, because he was responding to
I
him in
think
real time.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, he's being watched. He's being watched.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is not a pre-recorded message.
Oh yeah.
Everything about that room was designed to make you think vintage, old technology. Like this is all on old videotape, done years and years ago, decades ago.
Right.
But I was like, no, this is real time.
For
He's
a minute
watching
there,
him
it
right now.
reminded me of the movie Get Out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Get out
One scene,
the whole
he's sitting there in
time.
that seat and then he's watching TV
Yeah.
and
True.
the guy on the TV is talking to him.
Even
and
with
they're
the
having
little dangle
conversation.
thing, I thought
Yeah.
that was
It's
Get Out right
very
there too.
trippy.
Get Out vibes,
Would you guys
Jordan
have
Peele
stayed?
vibes.
Would you watch the whole video?
I think I would have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I
The
mean, I think
notes
it's
would've
intriguing.
freaked
This is what I was gonna say. Would you open the drawer?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he opens the
to
drawer, he
open
reads
it.
the notes. I caught it immediately. But then
as
the
I
next
said,
one
my
said,
eye went
"Don't
straight- yep.
follow or don't fill out the note card."
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going.
So this is the first opportunity of him to make a real choice.
Mm-hmm.
To fill out the note card or keep following these instructions.
Right.
And he followed them
Yeah.
all the way out the door, away from the scary lady, down the hall, not too quickly for
Right.
liability reasons, I assume.
Yeah.
And he starts getting to do phone calls from the Elsewhere Society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's got to decide who to trust.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where it gets iffy. But then that's where I feel like Simone comes into play. And Simone is really like the person like he trusts. Like if you notice when they had to find their family, he quickly went to Simone too.
Well, that's because he had a pre-existing relationship with Simone by that point. But when he first joins the Elsewhere Society by going through that door at 27.77
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
something, he meets this other individual,
Yeah.
Simone,
Right.
and I kept seeing all this imagery of like find her, find her. I assumed the her was Simone waiting for him
Yeah.
in that room, but she attacks him
Right.
straight up.
Right.
Because she doesn't know if he's part of the game. He
Yeah.
really doesn't know if she is.
Yeah. For sure.
Peter doesn't even know he's a part of the game.
Yeah, so now we're in this like, what is reality moment.
Seriously,
I feel
they're-
like, me personally, I think that's all staged. Still, it's all staged. I think she's in that room on purpose, and he comes in, and she's basically the missing part that he's looking for, and what he's basically looking for. Because when she's saying about drugs or something like that, he's like, no, I'm not into drugs. I don't take drugs. Then out of a sudden, she's convincing him. So she's basically trying to show him his side that he forgot. Right? Basically to just come out of the shelf and just do whatever you want to do and just do your normal life. I think that's her part. That's the character side that he lost trying to give back to him.
Oh, so just from the narrative structure of this
Yeah,
being a
that's
story
what-
that
yeah.
we're watching as viewers.
Yeah, for sure,
But
that's
not
why.
that she's part of the Elsewhere.
No. I think she also
Okay, yeah, I was
came-
gonna say,
No,
you think she's like a part of the game?
No,
What do
she's
you
not.
think?
She's
What do
not.
you
but-
think?
No, I think not. No,
You
she's
don't
not.
think she's part of the game?
I think she's in the room because she did the same she had the same experience that Peter has. The same thing. So it
Right.
got her the same thing, like with the phone call and everything. But I think they put these people together on purpose. So Peter has some kind of characteristics that Simone doesn't have.
Oh,
And then also
okay.
Simone has certain things that he doesn't have. And when she talks about the drugs, Peter's like, oh my God, no, I don't take drugs. I can't do this
Well,
anymore.
yeah,
but then
but
she's
that's how
convincing
I
him to
didn't
open up
consider
again.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
That those two specifically were brought together intentionally.
I totally believe that. It's on purpose.
Okay.
It's
Well,
on
see, I
purpose.
don't. I feel like she was meant to be there for Peter. Like,
Exactly.
That's her. Yeah. Well, exactly like you said.
that's
You know,
right,
that's her
yeah.
purpose. Is every little thing that he wouldn't necessarily do, she's like his little kind of angel or devil or
Yeah,
whatever you
right,
want to
exactly.
whatever you want to give
No,
her
it's
the
true.
title,
It's
you know.
true.
And it's like
It's
I'm going to
true.
push you. Like this is out of your
Exactly.
norm. Are you going to do it?
She's pushing his limits, actually.
Yes.
That's actually very obvious.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I feel like when he meets his family and they get all together,
Exactly.
each one of them
Isn't
is
that
gonna
interesting with
push
Sally?
him.
Sally is this kind of older lady. I'm not sure. Hey, how do we do this? And Fred was like, I know everything. I'm just
Yeah.
smart.
Well-
So I feel like.
Well, to get into it, shout out to Mr. Spins in our live chat.
What's up, man?
Now, Mr. Spins is saying, I feel
It's time for you, Mr.
I love
Spence.
that. I love
he
that.
says, I feel like the institution is trying to get everyone following the rules on one path, while these dispatchers are breaking the system, hence why Peter looks left.
Okay.
So this is a very, he said, I'm still wondering how everyone knows Peter's name. But,
I think he says
wow,
it.
that
Oh,
is.
that's true.
Yes.
Wait, Mr. Spence, you are on to something. That is true.
Yes.
How does everyone know? How does Simone know Peter's name? How do they
Did-
know each other's
Everything.
names?
Didn't he introduce himself?
No.
No?
No.
That's
He
a very
didn't
good one.
introduce
Well,
himself.
I noticed she didn't introduce herself in that first meeting at the store.
Yeah.
Later on, he knew it when he saw her on the street because they'd been hanging out all day.
Right,
So I
right,
assumed
right.
she dropped her name then, but did he drop his name?
Well, girl, you're
I don't-
good.
Did she know his name? Did she use his name when in the store?
I can't remember.
Remember now.
Mr. Spence, you're blowing our mind.
Mr. Spence, you're really giving us a run for our money right here. But yeah, you guys keep going in the comments. Let us know your feelings. Let us know your thoughts on who you think is in this game. Are they even in the game? Or is this really a reality?
Now I have to think about
game
that.
or
Now
Did
I'm
he say the
messing
name?
everyone. Because you know, in the beginning, in the introduction, you know, the narrator is saying, you know, this is it's a world within a world. So it's like a whole different layer of life as we know it. Like we see life, like you're doing it.
Sure,
But
sure.
then there's another layer deeper
Yeah.
into it that only certain individuals can get to.
It feels a little bit like the Truman Show, if you ask me.
Yeah.
A little
Oh,
bit like
yeah.
that, you know. So it's in a world in a world
It's-
that he doesn't know about.
It's the Truman Show, but
Yeah.
Truman's aware he's on the show.
I'm not even sure if he knows about that. I'm not even
okay.
sure if he's aware of that. I don't know. Maybe he is, but he doesn't seem like it though. He seems like he's just following the rules now because he believes that if I'm doing what they're telling me, I'm gonna change my life around. I'm not gonna be the same person because I don't want to be that same person again. You know, I think that's why he's so hooked right now that he's just doing what they're telling him.
Okay.
what
So
I
let's switch gears. Why do you think Simone's in that room then? Why do you think Simone answered the call and
Good question. Very good
responded when they called back? And
Yeah, because she doesn't seem like someone who needs that. That's interesting.
Simone is that rebel, like that badass. Like she's the one who's going to really like, I think she's into stuff like that. Like she's into things that are going to push the limits. Like even look at when she was going to get mugged. Like she didn't run first. Like she literally was like going back and forth with him. Like, look, I will burn your eyes. Simone just has that like.
That's true.
She has that type of demeanor that's just like, look, I'm gonna do it if I want to, and she likes that mystery. She likes to know like what's going on. Even if you look at her character in the beginning, like she was a mystery. Like we didn't know, like, okay, Simone, like, because I remember like, you know, at first we were like, wait a minute. Because we heard her voice, and then we saw, the way she looked, and we were like, okay, cool. So now we know who Simone is.
Right,
but
right.
do we know? Because I feel like even when she got home to her Nana, I feel, she didn't even tell her Nana, what was going on, or like even that, not even about the other world, but like, hey, like, Nana, I got mugged or tried to get mugged. So I feel there's a part of mystery about Simone too.
Yeah, and then she looks into the mirror right at the end. That's when I realized, okay, there's more about her than we know.
I feel like
we're
Because
gonna
she's saying,
see
she's
that.
talking to her saying, you are okay.
You can definitely
So
tell.
there's something. She's just trying from the outside to be very confident, and she is,
Yeah.
but there's something more within her.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, you can tell she comes off being the tough, rough around the edges. I can stand my own ground. I can take care of myself. But, as it goes more and more into the episode, you feel her kind of break down. She laughs a little when they're in that diner, see a little more of a raw self to her.
Right.
That incident in the alley, it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then as she, when she gets home, you see that softer, gentle side, and you can tell, I think, something traumatic has happened in her life. Very traumatic.
I believe, I have a feeling that she had a huge issue with man. Something happened to her.
So, yeah.
Because when these two men trying to basically kidnap her or do whatever with her, she's saying something to them. Why do you always have to do this shit? Why do you always have to do that to me?
To ruin everything.
Yeah,
She
so
was
why
having
do you
a
always do that to
wonderful
me?
I
experience.
thought she was talking
And
about humans in general, though.
And I think she was talking more about men.
No,
if
I
you
think
ask me.
I agree with you. I think she was
Yeah. For some
directing it
reason.
towards men.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. But then in the diner, though, I had a feeling that she was trying to get closer to Peter, though. So there is something like, there's more than just like a friendship or like family as they describe it.
They
I actually
love.
felt that
I
with
was
this
gonna say,
episode.
maybe she
They're
has a
in love.
love-hate
Especially when she said,
love-hate relationship. Oh,
Did you feel that?
I did. I
Thank
felt
you.
it. I did. It's
So-
a love-hate relationship. I feel like
They
she
in
has with
love.
men. She wants to
Exactly.
find someone good,
For
but
sure.
And
Totally.
I
scared.
think we're going to get a lot more of her in the coming episodes, and we're also going to get to meet more and get to know Fredwin and Janice a lot better.
I
we only
love
got
Fredwin.
kind of surface level experiences with them. So we'll save getting to know them for a later episode because I really want to get into our special segments because I'm really excited for them. So first, we're going to talk about the Jejune Institute because it's real. It's a real thing that happened.
Wow.
Shyntel, tell us all
is.
about it.
Okay, so I looked at it, and that was apparently an Oakland artist. I got his name down. I think is Jeff Hull. Started this project. He grabbed, I don't know how many San Francisco participants, and they did an alternate reality game. Very interesting. As a 2013 documentary, I was like, okay, I had never heard about it before.
And what was the name of the documentary?
The Institute. That's
Just
what
The
it's
Institute.
called. The Institute.
how-
Yeah, right? Suspenseful. I know. So
that is
intrigued.
good.
But yeah, I was trying to learn a little bit more about it, and that's kind of all I got on the surface.
But we don't want to spoil a documentary.
Don't.
But it's
Yeah,
cool to
don't.
know that this
Watch
was
it.
essentially
Watch
a
it.
giant art installation, immersive, invisible theater experience thing.
Yes, like I
guess.
said, just very trippy. Did not know about it.
That's
I
awesome.
was like,
Seems
what?
a little like the experiment.
This is real?
Do you know the experiment, the movie Experiment?
No.
You know the
No.
movie? Oh, okay.
It's like the game, the movie,
Yeah,
the game.
kind
There's the
of.
game, the experiment, the institute. It's the trilogy.
Oh wow.
I'm kidding. No crazy conspiracy theories.
That was good. That was good. That was good. I
This
love
is
that.
all I was trying to say is
everyone is
all
cool
this
now.
madness is grounded in reality, not just through the institute, but also through Jason Segel's experiences. Isn't that right, Ben?
Exactly. So talk a little bit about news, which is interesting to me because. Oh, thank you. news. Okay, I'm the news anchor right now. Okay, everybody. No, but seriously, the thing is, I did a little bit of research because Jason Segel is not just the leading actor on the show. He created the whole show. He was writing the show. He's even directing the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's That's crazy, guys. You know, I
Triple
did that
threat.
myself in the past. Like, acting and directing at the same time is tough.
tough.
It's really, really tough, right? So I have a lot of respect that he pulls that off just like that because his acting is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
I believe every second. But what I wanted to tell you guys is, as we know him from How I Met Your Mother, he was always playing this guy, you know, oh my God, I just want to have a girlfriend or wife. I want to be happy, you know. But then at some point when he finished the show, he basically said in a news article, he said, hey, you know what? After I was finishing that show, I basically felt like I achieved everything with this character. So there was nothing more to tell about that, right? So I needed to define myself new. I wanted to do something different. And then he was kind of lost. He felt like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I'm just 40 right now. I just want to move on, right? And that's how he created this character and this storyline because he was so lost. The same character that Peter does right now. He basically walks down the street. He was like, okay, what am I doing with my life now? I'm 40 years old. I have 40 years more to live, you know, maybe even more. And that's how he came up with that idea. How do you find yourself? He did like the self-exploration experiment on himself. And that's, I believe, and he said that a little bit, that's why he created these characters. Like Sally, Fredwin, and everybody that we saw already is kind of part of.
So
the
if Peter is
overall-
you, and Peter is Jason Segel,
Yeah,
then we are Jason Segel.
pretty much.
I love
So he
my
could,
head
and
hurts.
he basically, and it's funny that you say that because he basically also.
Like, I'm sorry, you lost me at Jason Segel.
No, but I really wanted to say that on a serious note because he basically is trying to give us all like this message, hey, watch that show and you probably find yourself, you know? He's not doing it for himself, for everybody, basically.
Which
because
we gotta
kind of
put it
think
in.
was
something in
the
somebody.
point
you know?
of the original experience to get us to revisit
For
our
sure.
lives.
And I really like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm still not completely hooked on that show, but I like the message about
Yeah.
it, you know? So.
Well, do our fans have any final comments?
Well, yeah, we actually have a few comments here. Justin Christopher just joined the chat as well, saying, I still feel that Simone is still a guy and she is afraid to commit to being a woman when Peter reveals his feelings on the rooftop.
Interesting.
So that's pretty interesting. And then Mr. Spence is saying, but Peter isn't following the institution's rules, he's following the dispatcher's rules. So
Okay.
that's something else. And then he says, I believe Simone and the other two in the group that we meet later on in the episode 1 answer the call because they see something else in the game that no one else can. Now that now Mr. Spence has been onto something this entire show. What if they do see things that, you know, everyone else can't see?
Yeah, because for all we know, they could be part of this grand
'Cause remember,
experience.
Yeah, it's
So,
a world within a world.
Let's real quick now, as we sit right now, having been in the diner, met all the 4 characters, seen a glimpse of what the Elsewhere Society does. What do you guys think? Is it a hoax? Is it a prank? Is it a TV show? Is it a game? Is it real?
I think it's real. I think it's like, okay, follow me, guys. I think that it's a real thing, but it's a selected, well, I guess it's, you know, you can get this, a selected society, but I feel those colors on those ping pong pads meant something. So you know how some of them were light blue, some were dark blue,
I thought they were
medium
all the
blue.
same shade of blue.
No, they were
I
not.
thought
That's
when
how they were
like,
able to find
hold
their
up the
family.
panel and find your family. I was like, oh, good, everyone's their family. How nice.
And there were different shades. So for me, I think that those shades are different levels to this game, or like, you know, they let you in on certain things because every family
Okay.
isn't going to be the same.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
See, I think it all revolves around Peter. Like, everybody's playing a little part in his life.
So he's the one real participant.
He's the one
in this.
real participant. Almost
Interesting.
like you said, like the Truman Show.
Interesting.
And I don't think he quite knows that it's all about him, because he's in this self-discovery kind of moment. Like,
Yeah.
he's trying to figure out himself right there. And each little person is supposed to play a certain role.
Right. Interesting. I mean, I feel personally it is an experiment. I feel like everyone is on the same level right now. But I also think that this society, this system, or like Octavio, is just making them think, hey, if you're going to follow us, you're going to basically experience or discover things that you want to have for your life to feel better and to have a happier life. But at the end of the day, they just taking advantage of everybody.
Sorry,
what I
I just want to clarify. When you said Octavio, you're referring to Octavio of the Jejune Institute, or did you mean Commander 14 of the Elsewhere Society?
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the guy that we see on television.
Or are they the same person?
Yeah.
Think about that. All right, we're going to leave you guys with that mind blower.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, where can everyone and our fantastic fans find you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram right now because I know you're right by the app. It's IAM_Sanas, SANA_. Go ahead, follow right now. You're right there.
And you can follow me on Instagram. It's Shyntel D. Very straightforward. SHYNTEL. So Shyntel with one L, the letter D.
Ben, you okay?
Still got me, man. You still
All
got
right.
me on that one. Wow.
I'm going to give Ben a moment.
But,
You guys can find me on Twitter at Kevin Allen Says and Instagram at Kevin Allen Graham. You good, buddy?
I'm good
All
now.
right.
So you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Benjamin Schnau, SCHNAU.
All right, guys, and stay tuned to AfterBuzz TV. Keep checking out with us in later weeks as we unravel this mystery. Have a great night,
Have a
explorers.
great night.
He got me the last second.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.